Hey guys, we are live once again. This is day six. Day six. I'm like screwing up my fingers of the Miracle March. And our intention in the Miracle March is to be intentional in a month of transforming minds by influencing, motivating, and coaching aspiring entrepreneurs while empowering them with tools to be successful. And we have had amazing sessions thus far with everyone that came on. And man, my cup is being super filled by being able to pour in. And the reason why I started doing this was because what does it really mean to be a go-giver? What does it mean like if I feel like I have a service to provide and it's not being shared, and this year I want to figure out a way how I could give more, how I could share more. And this was one of the ways that I thought about in being able to share more. And so super happy for everyone who registered and who's in the studio, who's listening live. Like, share the link. This is going to be an amazing session. And today I have with me Lopsan. How are you, bro?
Lopsan Castillo. I'm doing great, Keston. Doing great. First and foremost, I just want to thank you for donating your time with every student individually. I didn't get the chance to book with you last year when I first joined Sub 2. It
Yeah.
was one of those things where, joining Sub 2 the first time, you have all this information and you feel like you're, like they say, you're drinking through a fire hose. Um, so it was a little bit more of a, I was overwhelmed. I'm like, should I do it? Should I not do it? And now that been in the program for a year, actually, February 23rd was my anniversary being part of Sub 2. I was in the daily dial. I go in there every Tuesday, at least, and Thursdays to, I get some pointers from you and other uh, substitutes that have brought in value in the calls, in the call. But yeah, this Tuesday I was in there and I was like, hey, I'm jumping in this right now. I was literally like, I was done with my workout. I was in the shower and I had soap all over my body, my face, and I heard it. I'm gonna open up the calendar right now. I'm like, oh shoot! Like, wash my hands, stuck my hands out, dry my fingers, and I booked it right away. So I'm not gonna miss
Oh,
this opportunity. But I appreciate you doing that. Absolutely.
dude, thank you so much for being on those daily dials. Thank you so much for the opportunity to pour into you, man. And what would you say is one of the main things that you need guidance or help with, personally or in your business? What would you say that is?
Um, in my business, I would say just in reality, in the business where I partnered up with another substitute and we started, building our business with a VA, and we're getting leads and getting deals. We got a deal that we're working on right now already. But it's more of a personal, I guess, mindset aspect that, for example, one of my things that I kind of struggle with, or that I'm aware of, but I still struggle with, is like, comparison is a big thing for me, and not being satisfied with what I'm doing and beating myself up like, no, you need to do more. Like you can do more. Like that's not enough. And so I used to tell myself, okay, once I get my first deal, I'm gonna be able to do so much and be so, be more happy or whatever. But I always find myself like fighting for more and digging for more. Like, now what's next? Like, um, once we have, predictable business and we're pumping out deals, like crazy, then my, I think, and I'm like, am I going to be in the same boat as in, okay, no, I can't do more. Like, that's not enough. I beat myself up so hard sometimes. And that's primarily one of the things that, that I need to work with myself, and like, I guess just go with the flow and understand that I can only do so much, and
Yeah.
as long as I show up and do the work and stay consistent, that's all that matters.
Man, what you're bringing up, I think 85% of people really deal with, where the comparison, and they say comparison is the thief of joy.
Thief of all
And
joy.
so
Mhm.
it's a really big thing to understand why that happens. And so what I would say when it comes to comparison, that what would you see? Because even though you're like having traction in your business, what would you say? Give me an example of like, are you talking about like when you see someone else in the group have some success, it's like, oh man, why can't I do that? Or like, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, you know, well, it's, yeah, in the group, or just hearing people that that are doing this as well, and they're getting faster results, I should say, than what I'm getting,
Yeah.
and they're getting to their goals quicker than I am. And I know we all have a different goal and a different mountain to climb. However, it's like, I always tell myself like, okay, so what are you doing that they're doing, or where, or or vice versa? What's going on? Like, and especially like if I go to a meetup or whatever, and I talk to other people, and they talk about their success, and I talk about mine, I'm like, shoot, I'm not nowhere near where I want to be, or even where they are, but yeah. So I find myself sometimes comparing myself to other people's success. Okay, they're doing this much volume, and I'm only doing this little, and
Yeah.
what do I need to do? Like, I mean, I show up every day, I put in the work, I do the calls, I do the follow-ups, I luck up deals, but it's not enough for me. Like, it's like, what can I do to be that super,
Yeah.
investor, I guess, that's pumping like at least 4 or 5 deals a month.
Do you think when you
And
get there, do you think when you get there that that would make you feel fulfilled, or would you then look at somebody else and say, man, now that I'm doing 4 or 5 deals a month, why am I not doing 10 to 20
mhm,
deals a
yeah, I think that's gonna happen. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I think that's probably gonna happen. So I think it's more of it's right here between the 2 years that I need to be okay with the journey that I'm going through, and and just be content with my results, and just if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, just be all right with just saying, okay, I'm showing up and I'm putting in the work, I'm getting results. I'm not getting big
month?
results, but but I'm seeing something. The ball's rolling slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So
Man, let me tell
so
you.
to answer your question, I'm sorry.
No, let me tell you that everyone that's
Mm,
listening right now, I'm sure there's many people that would be able to relate to exactly what you're saying. So please don't think what you're saying is not to some degree normal for a lot of people. That imposter
mm,
syndrome, or to feel like that
mm.
comparison. Why can't I do more? And have you ever heard me talk through like the four main parts of a GPS?
Yes.
So let's talk through it, right? Because this would make a lot of sense for you, and for
Hmm.
everyone else. I just want to make sure that everyone else is following us. And if you're listening and looking, please share the link, like and subscribe. We're gonna go deep now. Here's where, like, help me share and get this word out so that everyone could partake and be a part of this. So the four main parts of a GPS. The first thing you need for a GPS to work is a connection, right? That's that connection, and that connection, typically it's T-Mobile or Verizon or Wi-Fi, just to be able to get signal. And with that connection, how that translates to us is that that's God for us. That's us connecting to our higher power. Without that connection, your GPS just wouldn't work. And so for us,
Mhm.
we have to connect to that higher power. The second thing, most important thing, and for a GPS to work, is it has to know your current location. And when it knows your current location, then it's able to give you directions. And so let's dive into the current location, because I think for you, this is where comparison comes in. If we don't understand that current location, and I'm just going to say the four, and then we're going to come back to current location. The third thing you need for a GPS to work is the destination. You got to be able to put in an address to know where you're going to start to get directions. And the last thing is faith. You're going to need faith to get those turn by turn directions, because there are many times when we are told, hey, make a left on Watson Street, and we make a right because that's what we're so used to doing. But because of the connection, it could see things that we can't see. And so we need to have faith that the GPS is telling us to do the right thing. Now, where I think you are, where you may be challenged a little bit, is in the current location aspect. Because here's what's interesting about your current location. When you are trying to find your current location, if it is that you have your current location based on my location, for example, if you're at work and you're trying to get the address, or you're trying to go home. Let's say you're trying to go home, but you're at work. If it is that your current location is in the wrong coordinates, you're going to get the wrong directions. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah.
So you have to know your current location. Where are you currently? And in digging into
Mhm.
that current location, this is where you got to start to understand what where are you? Like, what's your mindset? What traumas are you dealing with? What lost? What joys? What, like, this is where you really got to know yourself, because if you start from where you are, then you'd be able to then go somewhere, versus starting from Keston's location. Because if you said, man, Keston's doing it, I'm going to start doing things exactly like him without dealing with your current location, you're going to get the wrong address. You're going to end up at the wrong place. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah,
So
it
let's
does.
dig into your current location. When you see someone else, and this is why for me, when you have that clear direction, I'm not typically jealous by other people, because I know exactly where I'm going. I know where I
Mhm.
am, I know where I'm going. And so when I see somebody else going in a different direction and they're succeeding at getting $100,000 wholesale check, I'm able to say, man, that's awesome, great job. That's not where I'm going.
Mhm.
And so where do you think you're going? And why are you even in real estate? Like, let's start there. What does real estate
Mhm.
mean to you, and why real estate?
Um, well, I always was curious about, getting into real estate. Like some people, they're looking to become an agent, and I look into that first, and then I realize, the things you had to do as far as, getting your license, which is not a problem. Okay, I can do that. It's easy. I can get licensed. But
Mhm.
then I was like, okay, they only make that much. Like, is it even worth it? So
Yeah.
then I thought about, why don't I just, go into the investor side, and if I'm gonna learn and switch to a different strategy to make money, why not go for the big fish? So that's why I decided to, tap into that investor world.
So are you doing it for financial freedom, or is it just something that you just enjoy doing?
I'm doing it because I see myself in 9 years um, with a few assets. I see myself with a few assets where I can rely on for my retirement, and my kids don't have to worry about dad or mom, trying to survive on their retirement funds or their 401k or their social security. That's probably going to be nothing by the time I retire. So
Hmm.
that's one of my biggest reasons for. I just want to. I have this goal, and I used to say dream, but now it's goal. I have this goal about once I 9 years from now I have those assets, they can pay me in dollars and move back to my country in Mexico and live off the pesos. But also helping out the community over there in Mexico, the less fortunate kids, help out opening even a small orphanage, or helping out with less fortunate schools with supplies and food and so on.
Why
So
is that important to
I
you?
guess uh, I can say, I mean, there was a time when I was younger where we went through, well, my parents went through a problem where they separated, and my mother like completely disappeared.
Mm.
And I was trying to like find out where she was. Nobody knew where she was. Long story short, she came back in about 8 months, 9 months, and she said that she had to run away because of my father. Long story, but at that period of time when being I think I was about 7 years old or six, if I'm not mistaken. I felt, alone. I felt like, okay, now where's mom? Like, I feel like I'm alone in this world. I'm like, I feel like an orphan almost because dad is always at work.
Mm.
And even though we had people that was taking care of us, at that time we had a nanny. She was taking care of us, but it is not the same. I felt like I was with this, you know, random person that I really don't know. That she only used to go there to take care of us for a couple hours and cook for us, and now all of a sudden it turned into like a everyday thing. Like it replaced my mother, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And I went through a moment of like feeling lost and feeling scared, and I just recalled those times, and I said, oh man, that's probably what these kids that don't have their parents and they're out on the streets or orphan at home with they probably feel like that. They feel lost, they feel scared, they feel like they need their mom to come back or their dad to come back or whoever it is.
Wow. So so you're using real estate as a means to be able to go back and help people like that version of yourself is what you're doing
Hmm.
essentially.
Correct.
Do you
That's the
do
goal.
you have you written that down, or do you have that anywhere?
No, I do not that part. I do have the um kind of like the foundation of it. I wrote it
Hmm.
down and I made a vision board about it, where I have um the mindset and staying positive and being optimistic and being productive and taking care of my health, um, having monthly deals coming in, and then creating a cash flow source, and then essentially I have the assets on the bottom. Like these are going to be the assets that are going to put me where I need to be, so I could be that help that I need to be for those people. But I haven't written down like the end game of it. No, I have not.
I would write that down because that connection to it would help you be so focused because now you're trying to help a previous version of yourself. And so when it is that you're trying to help a previous version of yourself, that helps you with motivation. And it also helps you to keep focus because now you have a destination,
Hmm.
right? So, in understanding where you are and who you are, that's your current location. Now that you kind of understand, and it doesn't mean that there's not things that you got to work through in your with your paradigms and your understanding of that, but knowing where you're going is also going to really help. So, if we were to say that's your mission, that's something, do you feel like that would fire you up? Like knowing that you're going to help people that was in the same situation like you, do you feel like that would fire you up?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what we're looking at is kind of a group homes type of thing, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
So is that what you're currently focusing on, or you're focusing on something else? What do you work on every day in your business right now?
Um, right now we're focusing on, just getting deals, either wholesale them, and if it's something that we can cherry pick and flip ourselves, then we'll do that. But we're not, at least I'm not looking into, getting those homes for those, um, group homes, as you mentioned.
So what I find interesting with most people that I speak to is that they
Mm-hmm.
get in because and everyone wants to make money, right? And so we get in and we're like, I want to make money doing real estate, but we don't tie it to a particular focus. And that particular focus gives us direct direction, it gives us meaning, it gives us so much motivation to get there that I just see people not doing that. And so here's what my suggestion would be to you so that you stop having
Mm-hmm.
those thoughts of um, wanting what somebody else is doing, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I could be wrong about this, but how do you think you would feel closing on your first group home property where you're able to help kids? You have, let's say, 10 kids in this home, and then at the same time you see somebody else just got a $50,000 check. What do you think your emotions would feel like in comparison to what you're doing versus what somebody else is doing?
It'll be different,
It
but the
totally
pay is
will.
greater. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, bro. Every single thing we do is for a feeling. And this is the piece
Mm-hmm.
that I believe most people miss. Like the type of clothes we wear, the different things, like every single thing that we do is to feel good about ourselves. Like the jewelry we put on, the like that's why when people do their hair or they get a shape up or whatever, they feel good about themselves, right? It's a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you could understand that you're doing this for a feeling, I could tell you, skip the money part, because if I gave you 100,000 cash right now, if I gave you $250,000 cash right now, if I gave you $1 million cash right now, how do you think that would make you feel?
Temporarily happy.
Temporarily happy. But if I said to you, you got to choose between $1 million and your life, what would you choose?
Oh yeah, I choose my life right quick.
It's a no-brainer, right? So
Yeah. Right.
money is so temporary. Go after
Mm-hmm.
that thing that fulfills you. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that you will feel super fulfilled helping people who are a previous version of yourself. And so I'm kind of like changing up your entire strategy, real estate strategy right now. So let's
Mhm.
talk about what that would look like. Would you want to have those group homes in Mexico, or would you want to have them here in the US?
I can start here in my backyard, that way I can learn the process. It's probably different over there, but I would, rather um, get my feet wet in here in my backyard, and then once the time for me to move over there happens, or then I'll continue over there.
Love it. How much? What state are you in?
I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
Florida. Awesome. I know some people over there that would be able to help you with that type of stuff. Matter of fact, I know someone who does group homes in Jacksonville. Um, and so I'll be able to connect you. I'll reach out to my buddy who does some group homes in Jacksonville to start helping you and get you started and going, bro.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Do you see what having clarity in where you're going, how much difference it makes when you're able to know, like, oh man, I'm going here. I'm not here, I'm not there. And I'm telling you, when it is, you know exactly where you're going, it's so easy. It is so easy to be happy for someone else and just be like, man, that's really awesome, and celebrate them instead of being jealous. And it doesn't mean that like
Hmm.
jealousy goes away, but what do you say to yourself when those things comes up? I just bless people. When someone is doing like
Hmm.
way better than me or anything like that, I'm like, man, that's awesome. Like bless them, you know?
Hmm.
What's something else
Yeah.
that I could help you through, bro? Because that's a major one right there.
Yeah. That is just that is pretty much is what kind of I wouldn't say stops me, but it kind of like makes me have that limited beliefs, I guess, sometimes. I think for most part I'm doing good at other parts in my life and in my business. uh, Being a little bit more disciplined this year with everything.
Mhm.
Just focus on becoming better, and self-developing is big for me this year. And
Nice.
one of my biggest I guess you can say accountability people, partner, whatever you want to call it, is my son. Like, I was having a
Mm,
conversation with him one time, and I'm like, hey, you need to do better in school. You need to focus more. You need to bring up your grades. You need to be consistent.
yeah.
And he was like, so okay. He was like, how come you don't show me
He said that to you?
that? And he's 9, and I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, you always talk about that you want to lose a little bit more weight. You always talk about that. You want to spend more time with mom. Why don't you show me what discipline is all about?
Ouch. Ouch.
That was
Wow.
July of last year. And ever since July of last year, I've been getting my ass up every day, 5 in the morning. Alarm goes up. I'm going to show Junior what's up. Get up. I do my workouts, do my meditations, cook breakfast for them, wake them up. Hey, breakfast is ready. Daddy did workout already. Let's go. And
Wow, man.
now I'm also time blocking, um, time with the wife too. We actually have a calendar in the kitchen, and I pick 2 Saturdays out of the month, and I write day night.
Woo.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
this
he's keeping me on my toes.
isn't that interesting, man? Like, thank God for your son. Because I think
Mhm.
that is all the motivation, that is the accountability, all of that that you
100%.
that's working for you, man. And
Hmm.
it's just a fine example that kids, myself included, we do what we see more than what we hear. And now that you are doing by example, now he's going to start doing things by example. And
Hmm.
man, I think that's a fascinating story. And kudos to you, bro, for being able to step up and say, I got to change this. My son, he's watching. I got to change this. And I mean, dude, my son, he tries to do like my workouts and stuff. He comes to the gym with me, like that type of, like, let me, like, lift me up, let me do a pull-up. Like that's really amazing, man.
That's great.
Really,
Yeah.
really amazing. Because
Yeah.
they want to do what you do.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, I notice it now. But yeah, it's just more of what I need help on. It's just that, just uh, the mindset, and I guess the clarity on where I am now and where I really need to be or where I want to be.
Yeah.
What is it gonna take me to get there?
So what I also hear from you is that you want a guide. You want a guide. You want someone to help you, to take you from where you're at to a higher level, to help you keep developing your mindset. Even, I mean, your relationship with your wife, your kids, like just a great
Mm.
guide, an example. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be ideal.
You don't sound excited about it.
No, I mean, yeah, it would definitely help a lot. Absolutely.
Is it?
Just
Go ahead.
having the idea and and someone telling you, but it's different when you actually have someone like guide you through it and tell you, hey, like this is what I do. This is how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, man. And hopefully I do a good enough job as to the things that I post and show in terms of being accountable, mindset, things to do. And we have different programs and stuff that's going to be coming out really soon where we'll be able to spend more time together, and I could definitely help in that area. When it comes to mindset, and I mean, my son is probably one of my big motivators as well. Anytime that I don't feel like doing something, I would call him and set myself up and be like, dude, right now I don't, like, I'm scared, for example. He'd be like, why are you scared? Like, I don't know. And he would say, you got this. You'll be all right. And it's one of those things that is it keeps me going, because now I told him, now I know he's watching, and oftentimes he would
Yeah.
ask me, how did it go, right? And
Hmm.
that's when I'm able to say, oh, I showed up, or he might watch me do it. That's another thing. So it
Yeah.
builds that
It's
relationship, and it
amazing.
sounds like you guys have an amazing relationship, dude. So, like, kudos to you, bro.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, is there anything else I could help you kind of navigate right now that you're going through, or?
No, I think you pretty much answered, my question and what I need to focus on and do.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think I'm good.
I got
I'm
I got
good
a
as far as
question
I
for
just
you. What what's one thing you wish you knew before, like, becoming an entrepreneur? What's that one thing you wish you knew?
that it's okay to make mistakes. That you're not gonna die. Like who cares about what people say? And um, and money comes and goes, but opportunities come only one or a couple times, and that's it. And that's what made me, 2 years ago. When was it exactly? Um, Middle of 2021 is when I got my first deal. And prior to Pace's mentorship, I was part of another mentorship
Mm-hmm.
that they only gave me about a couple months of access, one call a week. But that was enough for me. Like I was like, I got to make the best out of it. I'm gonna take action, and who cares what happens. And I had like $5,000 and my last credit card left, and I told the wife, "This is it. If this doesn't work out, I'm gonna go file bankruptcy. Who cares?" But I would always like hold myself back, like, what if it doesn't work? What if this? What if that? What if that? And long story short, I signed up for the mentorship, 5 grand, put it in. I put in the work. I show up every day. The one thing I have is I'm super stubborn. I literally pulled a free list from PropStream because they give you like something free, like in 7 8 days or whatever. Pull a free list. I
Yeah.
skip trace it for free also, and then I hand out. I was outside in my porch, hand out and calling people, and I got this lady on the contract with multifamily, a triplex, a duplex, and a fourplex. Got it under
Wow.
contract, and I got it under contract actually creatively, like seller finance. Me not knowing anything about it.
Wow.
She was asking me questions, and I was just kind of like going to my mentor at that time and asking them, and they were telling me, and I would just say, yeah, but this is the way it works, this blah 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 blah. And I remember she was like, I built great rapport with them, with her and the husband, and she was like, yeah, but I don't know if it's gonna work. And then just something popped in my head. I asked, what are you gonna do with the money? Is that what we're gonna, put in the bank, and so it could gain interest, and then 5 years from now, 7 years probably, we'll pull it out with whatever interest we gain on it. And I was like, what if I can double up that interest for you? And you can still, kind of keep it in the bank for 7 years,
Yeah.
and I can double up that interest for you. And she was like, tell me about that. And I was like, oh shit. But then I was like, yeah, definitely. We'll talk about it in our next call. And then I went to my mentor again. Hey, I think I just screwed up. I told her this. He's like, no, great. So yeah, I structure a seller finance deal, um, zero money down, 7 year balloon. And, I got it under, I think, 3%. Yeah, an interest.
Nice.
And I assigned that deal to an investor. Yeah, so yeah, going back to the question is, I wish I would have known before starting investing that it's okay, that nothing's gonna happen. No, the cops are not gonna come after me. I'm not gonna go to jail. They're not gonna kill me. you know. So I just wish I would have
Dude,
known that. Yeah,
I
I would have
love
taken
I
action way
love that
before.
answer. I so love that answer, man, because many people just overthink. They don't do anything. They think like, oh my gosh, it's $100,000 property, it's a $500,000
Hmm.
property, and it's just like the world is ending, man. And so I love your
Hmm.
attitude in just going out and trying, right? Going out and trying.
Hmm.
Now I want you to harness that and go after these homes that you can now help your previous version of yourself and start living fulfilled. Go out and live a fulfilled life and really start transforming the way that you show up. Because if you already have that motivation and attitude, now that you're gearing it towards a specific place, I guarantee you, man, you're going to start showing up as such a different person. You're going to feel super fulfilled. You'd be an amazing example to your son and your family, and now you'd be able to show him the great, what would I call it? You'd be able to show him why living on purpose means so much and why it matters so much. And so I'm excited for you, bro. I'm super excited for you. I'm gonna connect you. Like I said, please send me that message, hit me up on Instagram or something like that. and I'll connect you
Yeah.
guys, and really, I can't wait to hear about your story, dude.
Yeah, brother. Me too. I can't wait to start taking action on that aspect of the business.
Let's go, man. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Guys, this it was another amazing session. And every day it keeps getting better and better. Every day we're seeing transformation. We're seeing people get clarity in their businesses, clarity on purpose. And there's nothing more pleasing than when you could start discovering your purpose. Even if it's your maybe purpose, even if it's that thing that, well, maybe this might be it, and you go out and you try and you realize, like, oh my God, this feels so
The words are on
fulfilling.
the table, no?
So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing the link. Please like and subscribe. We're doing this, I don't even know how many more times, but we're going to be doing 30 in total, and this is day 6. Thank you. Share it. See you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern for another edition of Miracle March. Peace and love. Catch you again tomorrow. Bye.